So today we are back with Fixer Upper and we are trying to renovate one of your houses, except you are, this time, my friend and Twitch mod, Christine. Although, if you want to make me a house to renovate, all you have to do is build a house that's in need of some renovations, give me a story, a budget, make some Sims that might live there, and put it on the gallery with the hashtag FixMeLilsimsie, and I might download and renovate it for a video. I've got a bunch of these on my channel, I'll link the playlist down below, but those of you who watch my Twitch streams might recognize the name Mrs. Tomato. Christine has been a friend of mine for a long time, and she's a really good builder in The Sims, and she built a really interesting house. Now, it's not an ugly home. A lot of times fixer-uppers are like really run down, like covered in spider webs and cracks on the wall. This house isn't like that. This is a family house that's been like slowly renovated and added on to over the years. There's 8 Sims living here now, and there's not enough space for them. And so the goal this time is to rework what they have using a lot of their existing furniture to make it more functional for the family. And Christine wrote a massive backstory. You can see it starts here in the description, but then it continues in the comments. She's got like a million comments explaining like, so first the house was owned by Sarah. She and her husband like slowly added on to it. Then Eddie died. Sarah's parents moved in. Sarah's sister moved in. There's a bunch of kids here. There's a dog. And at the end of the day, there's just not enough space for everybody. So I'm gonna give you a quick tour. This is Eddie's art studio. He's the dead dad. No one wants to get rid of it because they feel bad, but there's not enough space for the nephew. He needs a bedroom. Currently, he's sharing a room with his mom, but he's a toddler now, so he can't sleep in the bassinet anymore. So we gotta find space for the nephew. Grandma loves to knit. She's got her own art studio, but it would be nice to like rework the floor plan a little bit. Grandpa has a greenhouse that could use some updating. The poor mother, Sarah, owns this whole house and has opened her home to her entire family, but she has this small, outdated bedroom with a bad bed. Like, she deserves better than this. And there's a lot of room to work with. Like, we have this whole basement full of furniture to use, and I just love how creative the backstory is and how you can see like all of the things the family has had over the years, like the old bassinet and toddler bed the kids used to have but have outgrown now. I don't know, I like the storyline a lot of this house. I think a lot of people play The Sims this way too, like they'll build a house and then slowly expand it for all of their needs, and then eventually it's kind of like big and doesn't make much sense. And so today we're gonna try to renovate this home. And again, we're gonna try really hard to keep a lot of their existing furniture. They've got paintings from Eddie, important clutter, like things the kids have made. We want to keep that stuff. Keep the style of the home, just like clean it up, you know? So let's jump right on in. The first thing I did was go through and delete a lot of the stuff outside. I think that's kind of my first bet a lot of the time, is go through and delete the things that we know we're going to change. And I tried to rework like the porch out front. I just wanted to make the house look a little bit more symmetrical. And in doing that, we found some extra space that we managed to use for an extra bedroom. Because I think the additions were like a little bit off. Like, I wanted them to be a little more even with the house, so I shrunk them and moved them around. Granted, in real life, you probably wouldn't do that. You probably wouldn't like take off an addition and put a new one somewhere else, but this is The Sims, so we can do what we want. And that was my first step, was to like rework the additions. There was like a part of the house that was on stilts at the back, so I put like a real room underneath it. It used to be like a dog area with like a dog bowl and some dog toys, but now it's a whole entire room, which is necessary because we have so many Sims here that need so much space. And at the end of the day, I kept a lot of the original color scheme on the inside. Like, the kitchen is still the same, and you might not like a lot of the furniture that I used, and there's definitely a lot of styles going on here because a lot of Sims live here. But for example, I knew that like the aunt had a certain bedroom wallpaper that she had already and liked, and so I was like, maybe we should keep that kind of as an ode to this poor woman. So she can at least have something we know she likes in her bedroom. I also didn't want to change the floor plan too much. Like, I wanted to rework the kitchen a little bit, but I didn't want to change it completely. So this was a lot of like trying to piece together the puzzle without completely destroying Christine's house, because I liked this house a lot. It wasn't bad. Like, I just wanted to rearrange a little bit. You know what I mean? I think sometimes fixer-uppers are easier because it's like, oh my gosh, look at this ridiculous, completely destroyed room with cracks in the wall. Let's just like gut the whole thing and start over. But with this house, I didn't want to completely delete everything. I wanted to keep a lot of the existing furnishings, so I couldn't really do that. It just took a lot of rearranging to figure out how I wanted it to work. It's not like it was full of like haunted house furniture that all needed to be removed, because a lot of times for fixer-upper, people build houses that's like, oh, this house was abandoned 50 years ago and this young couple has just bought it and is renovating it, and so none of the furniture is theirs. They don't want to actually keep it. But with this house, the goal is completely different. I think that's why fixer-upper is so fun, because you all can write write such an interesting backstory, and then I just use that and run with it, and it makes it so fun to renovate. So please, please, please build me fixer-upper houses. Again, hashtag #FixMeLilSimsie on the gallery. You can use whatever packs you want, it doesn't matter. You can use 1 pack, no packs, it doesn't matter. I just like houses with backstories. I think it's fun to like renovate for specific Sims, and there was like an actual household that Christine made for this house, which made it easier because you kind of know like exactly who needs to live here, especially with a big household like this where there's so many Sims and like so many different age groups and things going on. Anyway, I built this on Twitch as well, by the way, so if you ever want to come watch my Twitch streams, I am live every single day on Twitch at 4 p.m. Eastern time. I actually built this on stream in like December and I've been sitting on it. I build so much on stream that I have like this massive backlog of speed builds that I could post, and obviously I don't want to like only post speed builds, so I just have this massive folder on my computer of speed build footage. So if you watch me build something on stream and I haven't posted on YouTube yet, I'll probably post it on YouTube, I just haven't gotten to it yet. There's so many things that I still need to post. I have builds from election day back in November. I built like 3 starter homes that day, and I never posted the speed builds. That was a long time ago. I've been holding those for a while. What is wrong with me? But I just keep building like bigger and cooler things, and then I'm like, well, now I want to post this mansion I built because that's more exciting. I'll just save them for a rainy day. One of the days where I don't feel like building, I'll pull something from those backlogs. So far, most of this build has just been rearranging furniture, but pretty soon I'm gonna repaint the whole thing, because it had this kind of like brown and gray color scheme on the outside. Nothing wrong with that, but I decided that I wanted to like brighten it up a little bit somehow, and I wasn't really sure how I wanted to go about doing that. And so instead, I made the entire exterior red. Like I painted the house red with red paneling, which I never do. Like I could probably count on one hand the number of houses that I built that have that color scheme. So I swapped it from the stone and the brown to red paneling and brick, which I think ended up looking pretty nice. It definitely isn't everybody's style, but I was trying to do something different because this family definitely likes a little bit more color. And I mean, what am I gonna do? Paint the house white or blue? God forbid I make a blue Suburban again. So you should be happy that I did it this way. You should be glad that it turns out red. The other part that I'm never so sure about with fixer-uppers is I want it to be as like realistic of a renovation as possible, as much as you can do it realistically in The Sims, because you really can't. Like nothing is gonna be accurate to real life, because in real life, a renovation like this would be so massive and so expensive, and you would never do the things that I did. Like you would never just move around additions to the house and like flip the side they're on and stuff like that. That's not a thing you can do in real life easily. But in The Sims, you can just like up and move a room and like scale it back a little bit. And I find myself making houses smaller so often, but you would like never do that in real life. I mean, could you imagine being like, you know what? I'm gonna pay all this money to scoot this exterior living room wall in 2 feet. I'm gonna spend thousands of dollars to make my living room 2 feet smaller. Like that's just absurd. But to be fair, in real life, you don't really have to look at the house like as a whole very much. Like if it's a little bit asymmetrical from the top left in the back of the house, nobody really cares. But in The Sims, because you spend so much time looking at the house, like the whole outside and like rotating 360 degrees and being able to see the top down view, like you don't see the top down view of your roof ever in real life. And real life houses are weird. Like it would never fly in The Sims, but in real life you can do whatever you want. So the things that we have to do to fix stuff in The Sims, it wouldn't happen in real life. And that's okay. So sometimes I will spend a significant amount of time just randomly shrinking walls in my Sims builds, and that's okay. One of the weird things I did actually was end up putting a dog door outside one of the kids' bedrooms. I wanted to have a dog door really badly because they had this dog living with them, and I was like, I want this dog to have the best life possible. How can I manage to make that work? And so I stuck a dog door outside of the kids' room. I don't know why it's in the kids' room. It seems like a weird spot for a dog door, but the patio's right there, so it worked out. I've never actually had a dog door in my house before, so this is a foreign concept to me, but it looks nice in The Sims. The other questionable choice I made was with the brick patio. It's definitely a bit of a bright color. It's sort of a controversial choice that I made. A lot of people in my Twitch chat were kind of horrified by it, but I like it. I like the brick patio, and I never really used that color swatch of brick patio, so I was trying to branch out again, which is a theme with this house. I think you'll notice that I was like using these wacky wallpapers and stuff that I would never normally have used, and you might hate, but like they were there before. I'm trying to reuse and, you know, make use of these nice things for these poor Sims. And you know what? Most of the time, like on HGTV shows, they don't renovate bedrooms. Like the kids' rooms don't get touched. Ever. Like they go in, they do the parents' room, the kitchen, and like the bathroom, and that's it. Then nobody ever touches the kids' rooms, which makes sense because there's no point in doing that. Most of the time it's like a need some fresh paint and new carpet kind of deal, and not so much I need to spend $20,000 redoing the bathroom kind of deal. I wanted to plug something quickly because I am doing a special stream on Saturday, a 12-hour stream. I'm gonna try to speed run the 100 baby challenge again. When I say speed run, I don't want you to get your hopes up because I did this once before during a 12-hour stream and I had like 10 babies or something, or maybe it was like 8 babies. I don't even remember. I don't have a good track record with this, but it's fun, and I'm gonna be live for like 12 hours all day on Saturday, and we are celebrating Rick Astley's birthday. This is my 3rd time doing this. Last year I baked him a cake. I don't really know how it started. Like a few years ago, I started like jokingly standing Rick Astley. Like I pretended to be a Rick Astley stan, and then it turned into me actually being a Rick Astley stan. So that's where we're at, and I'm gonna be live all day on Saturday celebrating his birthday. So if you want to join us, feel free. My Twitch channel is just lilsimsie. Why do I do these things to myself? When you say it out loud, it sounds really silly, and then I feel embarrassed. You know, it's hard to admit, like, yes, I am planning a 12-hour long birthday party for a celebrity who was famous for music like 30 years ago. I mean, more than that. Like, Never Gonna Give You Up was in the 80s. The late 80s, 1987 to be exact. But you may know Rick Astley from his hits such as Never Gonna Give You Up, perhaps Together Forever, Cry for Help. Most of you won't know though. You'll know the first one though. You know what a Rickroll is. I realized because I was talking about this on stream and people were like, who is Rick Astley? And then I was like, oh my god. But that's valid. It's okay to not know a singer from the 80s. I mean, he's kind of an internet meme though. Like the Rickroll thing, you know that. You know about that. I'm sorry, I'll get back to the house now. So you'll see that I kind of swapped around the bedrooms a tiny bit. I turned the daughter's bedroom into a bathroom upstairs because I wanted to get an extra bathroom in the house. So we have an extra bathroom in what used to be the daughter's bedroom. And then I moved her downstairs into the like new addition bedroom that we put. And then I switched the son's bedroom because I wanted to put the toddler's room next to his mom's room. So we kind of like swapped the son to where the mom's room used to be. There's 2 moms that live here. There's Sarah and Sarah's sister. But anyway, the rooms are kind of swapped around. This is really confusing. There's too many Sims and you haven't even seen them yet. So it's really weird, but you understand. The rooms have been swapped around. Everybody's got more space now. Grandma's got a whole art studio. I did get rid of the dad's art studio though, and I figured that was fair. I think he would be okay with it. I'm talking about a Sim. But I feel like he would be happier if his daughter had her own bedroom, you know? So we swapped some things a little bit. Don't worry, Dad's paintings are still in the house, like on the wall. I couldn't get rid of those. I think this pink room downstairs is my favorite room in the whole house. I like it a lot. I like the wallpaper, I like the rug and the bed, how it all comes together. The flamingo poster is cute. I thought it was nice. I tried with the kids' bedrooms to like age them up a tiny bit. Cause in my head, I was like, maybe these rooms were decorated like a few years ago and the kids are slightly older now and might want something slightly different. Sort of like how the toddler, he used to have a bassinet in his mom's room and now he has his own toddler bedroom. I kind of like aged up the kids a tiny bit with the rooms. So I gave the son, who used to have like this brightly colored like young child's room, a slightly more mature one, but still for a child. It sounds silly to say that, but that's what I was trying to do, was just like make the room slightly more like, ooh, closer to a teenager's bedroom. Because then you could just renovate it easily. If you were playing in the house and you had like a child Sim, you could like renovate it super easily. Just delete the unicorn and then you have a teen's room. I also kept all of the grandparents' furniture. I felt bad like deleting it all, so I kept the grandparents' room pretty similar. They had this big gallery wall, they had this like yellow bed. I mean, I pretty much kept that the exact same. I also kept the dining room furniture. The kitchen is pretty similar. You know what? I think that's one of the weirdest parts of like watching HGTV shows, is that when they stage the houses, so like say you watch Fixer Upper on HGTV, they renovate this whole house, they stage stage it, but like that's not the real furniture. So for the show, they put like fake staging furniture in it. And most of the time, like, they could buy those things off them and stuff, but most of the time, they just end up coming back in with their real furniture, and I think that's so weird. I mean, it makes sense, but when I was younger, I didn't really think about that part. Like, I kind of just assumed that they would, like, furnish the house for them, too, and I was like, wow, that's so cool. But that would be so expensive to buy all of that new furniture and the house and the renovations. So obviously, they don't. Like, obviously, they stage it with kind of a mix of the people's actual furniture and the fake furniture, and they could buy what they want to keep, but it's fake. It's fake for TV. Isn't that so weird? It must be weird for them to like walk into the house and see like the fake furniture and see their house with like all of that random furniture that they don't get to keep, and then have to like take it all out and then put their things back, especially because their things are like objectively worse, you know? I mean, we all know this. They probably have nice furniture, but it's not going to be as nice as like the professionally styled and staged stuff. So it must be so sad to like see someone else decorate your house to its maximum potential, and then you have to bring in your old sofa and replace it. It's like, here's a taste of what could have been if you were a little bit more rich and talented. Just a quick update, by the way, about Fixer Upper, the TV show on HGTV. It used to be a show on HGTV with Chip and Joanna Gaines. It was like my favorite show years ago. That's why I started making this Sim series, because I was like, I want to renovate houses. I thought it was so cool. Well, they canceled the show, but they're bringing it back. Like, they're making a new Magnolia network, and they're bringing that Fixer Upper show back. And it's out now, like you can watch it now. I don't have cable or anything, so I don't know how that works. But if you buy Discovery Plus, like Discovery's new streaming service, you can watch it there. The first episode came out last Friday, the next one comes out this Friday. I know a lot of you would love this, so I'm just letting you know. I'm not sponsored, but I did buy Discovery Plus to watch it. But they have like all of the HGTV shows on Discovery Plus now, which is really fun. Also a lot of like TLC shows, like 90 Day Fiancé and stuff, which I am very interested in. And again, I don't have cable, so I will take what I can get on Discovery Plus. There are too many good streaming services nowadays. I mean, it's not worth paying for them all, but you're paying for one at a time, maybe. I used to have Hulu, but I canceled it and got Discovery Plus like this week. I prefer to watch Fixer Upper. It's more important to me. Although I must admit, in this episode, no spoilers, but in the new episode, they made a choice that I really can't get behind. So basically, the house, it was this like house built in the 90s or something. It wasn't that bad looking. It was just really messy and dirty when they bought it. And they made like the front room into an office. Great idea. Makes a lot of sense. But like sharing a wall with that front room was the kitchen. And so they put a window from the office into the kitchen, and not like a little window. They got like a big old window that they refurbished and then put in an interior wall. And I simply cannot get behind that. I feel like most people, when they renovate a house, that's like the first thing they would get rid of. It's like, fill in that kitchen wall and get some more cabinets or something. Like, what? I just don't understand why they put a window inside like that. And it looks kind of cool, but I'm thinking about the functionality of it. But like, why would you want that? Why would you want these windows and doors that are open to the rest of the house? I mean, think about it. You're trying to be on your Zoom calls and you've got all the noise of the rest of the house and like the noise of the kitchen and the cooking and the rustling with the pots and pans. It just seems so inconvenient to have a window from the kitchen into the office. Anyway, it looked good, but it wasn't my first choice. I wouldn't do that. Oh, I have a question for you. This is possibly a sore subject for us Simmers. It's about painting ceilings, which we physically cannot do in The Sims 4, but you obviously can do in real life. What are your thoughts on painting the ceiling a color? It's kind of trendy right now. One person I follow on Instagram has this like music room in her house, and it's got this like burnt orange color on the walls, and she followed it up so the ceiling is the same color. And they did the same thing in that episode of Fixer Upper where they had this like deep green color in the bathroom and they painted the ceiling the same color as the walls. I don't think I like it. I'm not sure. I've seen people put like wallpaper on the ceiling to have like some sort of accent on the ceiling, and I kind of like that, but I don't think I like it when there's a dark color on the ceiling. I think especially in a room like that where there's like not a lot of windows in this small bathroom, I don't know about painting the ceiling the same dark color as the walls. It makes it feel like a small trapped box to me, but I haven't been in a room that has a painted ceiling like that in person, so I guess I wouldn't know, but I'm not sure I'm a fan of it. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. I think it looks kind of cool, but I don't know if I would do it in my own house. I love speed builds. I can just talk about whatever I want and it goes. But anyway, the house is done. This was the original. Keep that in mind. Let me place down my renovated version and I'll give you a quick tour. As you can see, mine is very different. That's kind of not the smartest. Emily, what does that mean? Anyway, my version is very different looking, especially in the color scheme. But I tried to make the front look a little bit less flat. You can see I like expanded the porch to be bigger. We got some rock rocking chairs on it. I bumped out the front a tiny bit. We made this addition a little more symmetrical so it actually makes sense, like on the side of the house. We painted it to be brick instead of the stone, and obviously it has the red second floor. I like how the backyard looks a lot. We have this nice patio, there's a few garden planters, plus Grandpa still has his whole greenhouse. But the greenhouse makes more sense, it kind of blends in with the lot a little bit more. The kids have a swing set, obviously chess tables, classic. And then when you actually walk inside the house, living room's in the same spot. We still have Dad's paintings on the walls and stuff, but it just is a little bit cleaner. I swapped the grandparents' room. I put it where the dining room used to be. Still the same furniture. They also have a Roomba. And then I moved Mom's room downstairs to where the grandparents used to have their room. Because again, in my mind, this poor woman has opened up her home to her entire family, and she had that tiny bedroom. So I gave her this like nice big, oh, sorry, my cat is clawing on her cat tree. I gave her this nice big bedroom with her own bathroom ensuite. What she deserves, let's be honest. And then there's the kitchen dining room all together here. I added an extra bathroom. There's a half bathroom that everyone can use. Grandma's studio is where Dad's studio used to be, but now she has all the same furniture, but like in a new knitting studio for her, plus the rocking chairs right outside, which is really cute. The daughter's bedroom is downstairs now. This is like a new addition. The house used to be very different. It used to honestly look kind of like that. Like the house was so empty. It was kind of weird. Like this room up here was a bit of an overhang. Okay, and then upstairs, we've got a hallway with like a new fancy rug. They've got Dad's paintings still, a computer there. This used to be the daughter's bedroom. Now it's just a big bathroom. So there's 2 bathrooms upstairs and 2 downstairs. So it's a little bit better. The sister, the aunt, lives here, and then her son has his own toddler bedroom in the room next door. And this kid swapped rooms to his mom's old room, but now he has his own big bedroom. And just all in all, I think the house, it's a little bit more fitting for their family. I did just completely delete the basement. In my head, I was like saving money on the budget, but that's also a thing that you probably would not do in real life. You probably wouldn't just like get rid of the basement. That's not exactly a thing. But I was trying to rework the floor plan. I don't know, it made more sense for the finished product. And I think this house makes sense. I think the color scheme is a little bit interesting. Like the 2 living spaces are very different, but I was trying to keep their furniture. Like they had this wallpaper and those couches already, and like they had these tables, so I didn't want to change it, but I don't know, it's definitely, but there's the house. I hope that you like it. It's on my gallery if you want to download it. And again, please build me some houses for Fixer Upper. Again, it's #FixMeLilSimsie. And on that note, I will see you all tomorrow. Bye everybody. Like I said, I love speed builds. I know they're all over the place, but I like to just sit here and talk. It's fun for me. It's a nice excuse to just talk about myself for like a half an hour. So thank you for listening to me. I needed that.